So as we wrap up the review series where I've gone back and reviewed every NFL team's 2025 season, I want to really go back as we're on the home stretch now. I've only got like one team left. Let's talk about the New England Patriots. And the 2025 season was, again, especially when you look at the Patriots in the past couple of years, especially on the Bill Belichick, when you could tell that, again, when Brady split in after 2018, Bill Belichick should split as well, but he stayed on for too long. He was consistently fucking up his team because he was acting as GM. Bill Belichick was acting as the GM and head coach and fucking up his team. So ultimately, they parted ways with Belichick like 3 years ago now, and then they got Jared Mayo in for like a season, drafted Drake May, that didn't work. Drake May was better a few games. Then you bring in Mike Vrabel, who again, when Vrabel was hired last offseason, there was questions about him, especially from me in my opinion, because look at his time at Tennessee, look and his really how he's developed young quarterbacks in the past. He hasn't really didn't have the really track record at the time that was warranted that you're going to think, oh, is he going to be the guy that's going to turn the Patriots around and get the best out of Drake May, especially with Will Levis in Tennessee. But anyway, nonetheless, Vrabel was hired, and ultimately, you could definitely see there was a huge culture change as soon as Vrabel came in. Josh McDaniels came back again to the Patriots. LOL. Terrell Williams came in as the defensive coordinator. So again, you had some guys who knew kind of the old Patriots way, I guess. The additions that you added in, especially like new deals. Alex Austin came in, Ben Brown came in, Demarion Jacobs got a new deal, Jameer Premier Jr. got a new deal at tight end, at defensive end. And then the additions that they really added to this team, like Stephon Diggs coming in from the Bills was a great addition. Trayvon Williams coming in from the Bengals at running back. So you have Morgan Moses, offensive tackle. You have cornerback Carlton Davis from the Lions going. So again, you look at these signings; they're not bad additions to have. Especially, you're looking at Stephon Diggs coming in, and look how great he was with Josh Allen for a number of years in Buffalo. Carlton Davis coming as a backup, a cornerback, not a bad addition. Trayvon Williams coming in running back, not a bad addition. Like, you have Stephon Diggs for 3 years, which again is a good addition. But again, I feel like again you could have done better on that offensive line. Drafting in Will Campbell on the offensive line was really one thing I wasn't impressed with. 4th overall. Like, again, he on Will Campbell's tape from LSU, I was never really impressed with him on tape. And I think you could have done better in that position. And that's you could see that during the season, especially at the Super Bowl, when Will Campbell wasn't protecting Drake May. One position they did get right was, again, the run game again. Trayvon Henderson coming in. But again, you had that time period where you wasn't playing Trayvon Henderson for like a number of weeks. And when you played it, was like, wow, the run game improves with Trayvon Henderson. So bringing Trayvon Henderson in from Ohio was great in the second round. Kyle Williams, a wide receiver from Washington State. Jared Wilson, center from Georgia. So again, you beefed up the offensive line. Craig Woodson, safety from California. Joshua Farmer, defensive tackle from Florida State. Brady Swanson, defensive end from LSU. Again, like Marcus Bryant, offensive tackle from Missouri, and then Julian Ashby, left safety, and then Kobe Minor, cornerback from Memphis. And then you look at their schedule here. At the Patriots lost opening game to the Raiders, which again, they lost opening game to the Raiders. But after the 1-2 start, you could really see the Patriots picking up some steam, especially after week 4, where they get a great road win against the Bills. They beat the Skid Marks, they beat the Titans on the road, beat the Saints on the road. They get a great a home win against the Falcons. They get an impressive win against the Buccaneers on the road when they're 8-2 at week 10. Then they beat the Bengals on the road week 12. Then they're coming out of the bye week, so they're going into the bye week 11-2, and that's pretty impressive. They come back and lose to the Bills at home in week 15, and in week 16-18 they get a great road win against the Ravens. They beat the Jets, but they destroyed the Jets week 17, and then the last week of the season they defeat division rivals the Dolphins in convincing fashion. And then you look at, and then they win the AFC East. They wrestle the AFC East away from the Bills. Again, the Bills for so long were dominating that division after 2018, and then the Bills here the Patriots in 2025. They win the wild card against the Chargers 16-3. They beat the Texans in the division game, and then they win the AFC Championship game against the Broncos, which again at that point the Broncos had Bo Nix, who was injured, and then they get to the Super Bowl, and that's kind of where I feel like the Patriots were getting exposed a lot. Was their offense. Their offense really didn't turn up in that Super Bowl. Stephon Diggs was non-existent. Will Campbell wasn't the guy, and I don't think he's been the guy all season. A lot of people on the offense didn't turn up for the Patriots, and Drake May, I know it's his first Super Bowl or whatever, it's his second year in, and I still think Drake May is the guy, but he just completely didn't turn up at the Super Bowl. He just consistently was dropping, he was getting turned over. Like, again, the problem with the Patriots in 2025 was their offensive line. Their offensive line stunk, and that's one of the positions you have to go and address. It's the offensive line, because Drake May, there was a stat in the Super Bowl that Drake May got turned over like 7-10 times in the playoffs, including the Super Bowl. And you cannot be having your quarterback getting turned over that easy and try to win a championship. That's been the problem with Joe Burrow for years with the Bengals. You need to definitely fix that in 2026. And Drake May had a great second year. He had over 4,394 passing yards. Stephon Diggs had over 1,000 receiving yards. But the problem again was the run game. I think the run game was a big problem. I know you had Trayvon Henderson, who again was good when he played, but didn't play enough. I think you need more than just Trayvon Henderson on the run game. So if you're going into 2026, you've got to address the left tackle, the right tackle. Offensive, you need at least two right tackles, two left tackle, and you need somebody on the running game, because nobody got over 1,000 rushing yards in 2025 for this Patriots team. They have about $42 million in cap space, so they have a bit of cap space to spend, which again I've been saying all series is fugazi. You can whatever, but their defense was 4th out of 32. Their offense wasn't too bad, but again, it's the turnovers that really was affecting this Patriots team during the offseason. That's why they didn't win the Lombardi Trophy 2 weeks ago. Their defense was 4th out of 32. Now I know that Terrell Williams was battling cancer and he's now recovered and he's healthy again. But yeah, they didn't. Again, they had their defense was top 5 in the league, like 4th out of 32, and then their offense. Just one thing that let them down was that offensive line and the run game. I feel like the run game needs to be improved, like I've said, and then the offensive line. And then maybe you can get another left tackle, another cornerback or something like that. But you're looking at the Patriots. They have a 31st pick, 1st overall. They have a 2nd round pick, 63rd overall. They have a 95th pick. They have a 4th round pick, a 5th round pick. They have later rounds as well. They have a defensive. They've got a new defensive coordinator, Zach Perrotz, as the new defensive coordinator. Free agents that they've got to address, like linebacker has to be they have to address linebacker, because Kevon Christian's contract runs out. Jalen Hawk's contract runs out at safety. Austin Hooper's at tight end, his contract's out. This runs out at the end of this. Well, has run out now. Trayvon Morford as well. So you got a couple of additions that you need to like negotiate. Are you going to keep some of these guys or not? But again, if I'm the Patriots, I'm looking at that offensive line. That has to be the aim of the game. Because again, you're so close with the Super Bowl, but ultimately the run game needs to be improved and the offensive line.